Hello, hello. Welcome to chapter two. How much is enough? Ooh, this is a fun one. You know why? Because now we get to know what number we're going after. Last chapter, we looked for what it is that I really want. What do I want? And you weren't supposed to hold yourself back. You were supposed to really get into that image of what it meant to live the rich life, what it means for you. And so I want to I'll start with the mastermind principles, and then I want to ask the question, is it all about money? I bet it's not. So let's share the screen here. And we'll go around the room. Jim, do you want to start us off?
Okay, mastermind principles. I begin every mastermind meeting by reading these mastermind principles. I release myself to the mastermind because I am stronger than the right is just a bit too small.
Here, let me see if I can do that. Ooh, how's
Ah,
that?
that's better. I release, I
Everybody's
release.
nodding. It's not just you.
It gets smaller each week. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. Robin,
I believe, I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. Next, Donna.
I understand. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. Pat,
I decide. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I am open to accepting new possibilities. Sophie,
I forgive. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past so I can move into the future with a clean slate. Ryan.
I ask. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires. And I hear my mastermind partners supporting me in my fulfillment. Sarah,
I accept. I know, relax and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful knowing this is so. Mary.
Dedication and covenant. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. I dedicate myself to be of maximum service to God and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. Yahoo! Thank you, everyone. All right, back to my question. As you made your list of what do I want from the last chapter, is it all about money? What's it about? Who wants to share? What's it mostly about?
it's about freedom.
What kind of freedom?
Freedom to be able to go wherever I want to go, do whatever I want to do, give what I want to give, as much as I want to give, and just really, live. It's not so much for me, it's not so much about the lifestyle because the amount that I have in mind, I would I would dare say that I'm living off about a quarter of it and the rest of it is going other places. Okay? Because I just really believe in leaving my world, my physical world better than I found it. And that's my desire. That's my why because I really have identified so many things throughout my life that I want to bless, which is also I want to bless myself too. And that every time we come around to chapter two, I remind myself, pay yourself first. That's not what I've been always doing, but do that. And, and yeah, surplus. And it's really about just being free. It's all about freedom and expression and giving back and willingly and graciously receiving, willingly giving and graciously receiving, and just keeping it going and just blessing here and there and everywhere. And
Here and there and everywhere.
and then having a
Sounds like a
little
poem.
bit stored away that accumulates extra so that when my physical body is released and I'm in the non-physical, that particular storage is gonna just completely blow the socks off of all of the places I have already been contributing to.
Sounds like you need to talk to Robin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. Pat.
I just building relationships, not just new ones, but to also strengthen the ones that I already have. Reach out to people. Like last year, towards the end, when I was coming down here to Texas, and I went and saw people out of the way that I hadn't met before, but I'd worked with. And that was just really so rewarding. So I want to reach out, meeting new people. And I love Zoom for that reason. But there's something about meeting someone in person, but also the people that are already in your life, let them know that you love them. Spend time with them. Make it a point. Go out of your way. But just really put some emphasis on it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Robin and I spent the weekend together in person. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's so nice. These Zoom calls are great, but you're right. There's something to be said. Sarah, you have had a couple of people come visit you that you met online, right? And isn't it different that way too?
It is. It's amazing. I've had people from Canada, from the States, come and visit me here in France. And it's been, I mean, we know each other and it's amazing, but there's something to meeting in person, like we have bonded differently. I'm not saying that I don't consider people I meet just online my friends, but it's different. We get to, I don't know, share differently, if that makes sense. I mean, food and wine and everything gets suddenly is different.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
and Donna had that experience too, right? Donna, you had you and Sarah Walters met.
Yeah, that was great. I got to actually see her making soap right in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. I love it. And it's really you invite them into your world a little bit more, right? Sarah, you mentioned food and wine and is just a little bit different. You're in the same room and you're experiencing the same ambiance. You're experiencing the same waiter. You're experiencing soap making. Yeah, it's very, it's more intimate, right? Go ahead, Pat. I know you wanted
I
to
was just going to say that I'm a hugger. I didn't grow up a hugger, but I married a guy from Texas. You learn how to be a hugger. And that's
really? You married a guy from Texas and you became a hugger? I am the opposite. I married a guy from Texas and I'm he's like, I'm not a hugger.
Well, the first time I went around his family and started grabbing me and hugging me, I'm thinking, whoa. But I mean, now I know, but that's the one thing I miss about Zoom, whether it's to reach out and just touch someone's hand or pat them on the back, give them a hug. There's something really special about meeting someone in person that you just can't do over Zoom. But I love Zoom. It's brought a lot of people into my world.
Well, if it weren't for
Me
Zoom,
too.
I probably wouldn't know anybody except for Robin. And I don't even know if I would know Robin. Well, I guess I would be through Patty because I know Patty too. Okay, I would know Robin. That's it. Oop, we're done. So there is something to be said for Zoom, for sure.
It
So go
is.
ahead.
I just have to say something. I have to tag on because it is in my self-image script that I meet everybody in Path to Mastery in person.
Wow, that's going to be a big trip.
I know, because it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know where to start. But my line of sight right now is Texas. I've got Larry north of me, and I've got Pat south of me.
Better hurry up. Isn't Pat going back to Nebraska soon?
Yeah, probably should visit her first because I don't think Larry's leaving his location anytime soon. And then we got, Ray is up there. But John Corpus is not on the call, and I hope he watches this replay. Um, we talk all the time about hanging out with Sarah Fernandez.
There we go.
We do. We talk about it often. It will happen one day.
I love it. I love it. Well, what do you think about this quote? Most people think they want more money than they do, and they settle for a lot less than they can get. What do you think about that? Does anybody have any feeling about that one way or another? Everyone's nodding. So why are you nodding?
I think a lot of it's what you were brought up with. You don't need all extra money. Rich people are not nice people and all that stuff. That kind of dampens you a little bit. But as we grow and we know ourselves better, then we know that we deserve it and we know we can earn it and go out and get it.
Robin, did you want to say something?
Just that many times we settle for a lot less because we get comfortable, not, as you say, maybe our surroundings are with people who have not stretched as far as we have stretched. So you've got to keep stretching yourself, but and putting yourself in environments which will cause you to stretch and want more. And realize, like you say, and you have to deal with all those, if there are misconceptions and feelings about, oh, money makes you bad or money makes you something different, so, and just work through all that. But many times we settle for that because our environment may show that, like, oh, well, you should only be at this level. You should, and be content. And that's, those are areas I have to work on every day, say, no, getting to another level for myself.
Yeah. And the idea behind, be satisfied with what you've got and all of that stuff. And one of the things that was one of the first lessons that they taught us as consultants, Proctor Gallagher consultants, was that one, don't be satisfied with what you've got, but money is an amplifier. So if you're a jerk before you have money, you're going to be more of a jerk afterwards. If you are a kind and benevolent and giving person before you have money, you're going to be even more kind and benevolent and giving after you have more money, right? Generosity is heightened when a generous person earns more money, right? So don't be afraid, just be good, and you won't have a problem. Go ahead, Sarah Fernandez. Do you want to say something?
Yes, exactly because of the quote you read. What I've experienced for myself since starting to study this and to really think about this, and is that we're always here thinking, I'm always thinking, and for a long time, this stopped me from really going all in my business because I would think I will never make enough money. Like, I want to buy a house, it's €500,000, a little house where I live. And so, how am I going to do that, right? And yet, here I was earning 25,000 a year, right? So I let myself get stopped from wanting that because that's not enough. So $500,000 is not enough. Is 1 million enough? But I won't get there with my business. So, I get in this space, and then I realize that, well, I'm making 25,000, or I was, and I'm doing okay. I have a great life anyway. So we don't always. I've loved to come. I've come to love that quote because it absolutely is true when we think about it. At least for me.
I think so. I think so. And it has everything to do with our paradigms. And I want everybody to remember, and this is directly from Born Rich Foundations in the workbook. So when you go into the workbook for chapter 2, there are these points that you can really work through and think through. And one, and I think this segues nicely into this, you are here to live your life to the fullest. Why are you here? To live this life that you've been given, right? You're here to live it to the fullest. Don't waste it. You were not born to play small, and you weren't born to struggle. And you weren't here to settle for less than what lights you up. That's why go after what you love, right? You were born rich. You were given, all of us were given all of these tools inside of us to develop and to use so that we can live life to its fullest. And Wallace D. Wattles talks about this in The Science of Getting Rich. He says life is for fuller expansion and expression and increase. Life is for more life. It's inherent in it. If you're not growing, Bob always says, if you're not growing, you're dying. And it's easy to say, you know, a little kid, a baby grows and little Rhett is growing. Robin's grandson is growing as a little baby. He probably doubled in size since he was born, right? And his big brother, Riker, is growing and growing and learning more and more things. And then we get to this certain point, we hit adulthood, and then we just, because we're not physically growing anymore, we're like, we're done. And I'm done with school. I'm done with growing. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. And then we settle into the mortgage and we settle into the job and we settle into the responsibilities and we forget to grow. You know, when I was a gymnast and I had that goal of getting the scholarship and I was like, this is what I want. This is what I want. And I worked every single day for it. Then I got it and I was there at school and then I graduated and I'm like, huh, I don't know what to do next. What's next? I don't really know. You know, I stopped setting goals because my goal setting time was done. And I didn't have gymnastics anymore until, you know, I decided, well, I'm gonna write books. I'm going to start my publishing company. I'm going to start my gym, all those things. And then I started goal setting again. But there was this lull in there where I was like, now what? And I didn't grow much during that time. I just didn't. It was different. So when you have something that you really want to go after, it gives your life meaning. Whether it's furthering your relationships, like Pat's talking about, or it's growing an income and a legacy, like Ryan's talking about, or it's growing investments, like Donna's doing, or it's being on stage, like Jim is doing, or building a membership, like Sarah's doing, or building a business, like Allie. You know, we're just all doing so many things. And Sophie has shifted her life so much in the last couple of years. It's incredible. And so those are huge goals to go after. And they're so much more fulfilling when you're going after something that you want, right? Rather than the day to day. All right, get up, go to work, go to eat dinner, go to bed, right? There's a difference. So we're here to live our life to the fullest. So ask yourself if you are, right? And so this is from the workbook, and he says, we're rich in potential and rich in creativity. We're rich in purpose. And Bob reminds us that we've been given infinite potential and the ability to develop and express it. But potential alone is not enough. We have to do something with it. Bob says about Think and Grow Rich, right? Bob read Think and Grow Rich every day of his life for 61 years. But he said, you can't just think and grow rich. You have to do something with those thoughts. We have to take action. Knowledge is only potential power. That's why we all just sit here and we're like, ooh, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. It feels so good to learn it and pile this up in our brains. But until we use it, it's worth nothing. Ugh, darn. Darn it. It's like being in school for the rest of your life and not doing anything with your degree. You got to do something, right? You got to do something. So use this information and apply it to your life. So the exercise, the main exercise in this chapter is to one, Ryan mentioned, pay yourself first. Two, set yourself up for success. Give yourself and your family an insurance policy, right? And figure out how much it's going to cost to live the life that you identified in chapter one. And don't limit yourself. You know, when you go like, ooh, that house, like Sarah said, oh, the house is 500,000 euros. Maybe I should want a smaller house or a less expensive one or one that's farther away from the beach or whatever it is. Don't temper it. Just figure out how much the thing that you want is going to cost. Figure it out. Because if we don't have a number, it's hard to go after, isn't it? And then we're going after nothing. We're just going and we're spinning. So you have your I'd love to list. Now put dollar amounts next to all those I'd love tos. Like horses. How much do horses cost? Well, guess what? It's not the upfront cost that costs so much about horses. It's every single month when you have hay and you have a boarding and you have feed and you have medicine and you have vet bills and you have tack and all that stuff, right? And so it might cost more than you anticipate. It's not the X number of dollars to buy the horse. It's keeping the horse. So decide, figure out, do a little research. This is your life. If you want this to be your life, then put this first work in. And I think that's where we slow down. We have this wish list and this I want that nebulous idea of what it is that we want, but we don't take the next step and go, all right, let's be serious about this. How much is this going to cost? If I really wanted that in my life, how much is that car going to cost? How much is that boat going to cost? How much is that whatever going to cost? How much is the business going to cost? And decide. And all the answers aren't going to go flying to you about how you're going to do it yet. Until and unless you say, yep, I'm doing it. You know, you probably won't get the house and the car and the boat and the horse all in the same, 5 minutes. You'll get the thing that you're looking for at the time that you're looking for it, or you're going after. So think about the things, the experiences that you want, the upgrades that you want, the shoes that you want, the boots, the horses, the farm, the car, the business, maybe you want a charity, maybe you want to write a book, maybe, whatever it is. So your mind has a clear target. Decide how much it's going to cost. Put a little effort into it. If you want it in your life, then act like it, right? And that's something that I didn't do right away. I didn't act like this is what I'm going to have. It would be like, oh, that'd be nice. But I didn't go out and go, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. Because then all of a sudden, what does that do? Why do we stop short? What do you think? Why do we not do it?
I don't know. I think sometimes we get overwhelmed, and I think Sarah was kind of leaning to that when she was talking earlier. I think, at least for me, it's like it's fun making that whole list, and it's like making your wish list to Santa Claus when you were a kid, and then you're hoping and dreaming and thinking it's all going to show up on Christmas Day. And Robin is trying to say something, but I'm not sure if she's talking to somebody else.
Oh,
But
I think she's talking to somebody else.
so, but I wanted, I just, I think what had happened, I think for me, what happened is I had so many years of Christmas not getting what I wanted that it sort of brainwashed me in thinking in my adult life that I can make this long list, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, what? whatever. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm here to, continue to build my list and continue to get excited about it and not worry about when or where it's going to come or how it's going to come. It's going to come because it's there. I've already asked for it. And once you ask for something, it's already given.
Well, there can't be anything else. If you have the ability to ask for something, it's already there. We can't ask for something that's not here. It's impossible. We can't we can't ask for an answer to a question that doesn't exist, right? We can't ask for a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. We can't get a solution without there being a problem. We can't have a problem without a solution. It's a balanced universe. So, what about the idea Ryan mentioned overwhelm? What if this, because this is how I think I was. What if it makes it too real? And then I'm on the hook. And then I have to big fat do something. Anybody else like that? Oh, we got nods, but no. Go ahead, Pat.
Especially if you said it out loud to someone, that makes it worse too, because then you feel like, okay, they're going to check up on me, make sure I did what I said I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
A little more pressure there, but sometimes that's what we need too.
Yep.
Accountability.
Mm-hmm. I know. It is. Go ahead, Robin.
It reminds me like stepping out in faith. When you're like, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. As you say, you just step out and do one thing, do the next thing. When you may not see how it's going to end up, but just like, nope, I'm going to do this part that I can do. I'm going to keep walking towards it. I'm going to do the next thing, do the next thing. And yeah, and then all of a sudden you're at your goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about any of you, but I had a mom that said I told her my goals, kind of like what Pat said. And she goes, "Oh, that's ambitious." Like it was a bad thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm just going to tell you when it's done. That's what I decided to do with her. And I decided to do with people who poo-poo things. I'm like, well, I'll just wait until it's done and then I'll tell you about it. Because I don't need somebody telling me or putting extra doubt in my mind, right? Because I think what happens is that we get conditioned. Well, I know what happens is that we get conditioned and then we think, well, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is real. I'm gonna have to, what if I fail? Oops. What if I fail? Who cares? At least you're going after something. How about that?
But what if you fly?
What if you fly? I love it.
Mhm.
That's right. Mm-hmm. What if it's so much better than you even imagined? What if? I like that. That's so much better. Isn't that a good energy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love it. So Bob has suggestions of where to start in this chapter. And he says, start now, right where you are. It doesn't matter where you are, just start where you are, right? He says, bloom where you're planted. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect because guess what? Nothing will ever be perfect because we're always wanting more. We get to a point and then we're like, ooh, this is great. Oh, I want more. Ooh, wouldn't this be great? Oh, I want more. You can begin building prosperity today by taking a few simple, intentional steps. So Bob says, create an instant estate by looking into life insurance. Okay. Pay yourself first. Take 10% and pay yourself first. 10%. Put it aside. Put it in a special account and don't call it a rainy day fund. Don't call it an emergency fund. Call it yay fund, or I don't care what you call it, but don't make anything. What did you want to call it, Donna? What did you say?
I called it my freedom fund.
Freedom fund.
Donna
Put
and
it.
I have the same fund.
Uh-huh. Yep. I love it. I love it.
I
I
did
have.
where I bookmarked it, it comes up with the bank it's in, but I changed it to Freedom Fund.
I love it.
So when I go to log in, I'm always reminded of that.
I think that's great. Mine is investments. I like that. I like that number or that sound too. I'm like, ooh, what am I investing in now? Probably another horse. So pay yourself first. Set it and forget it. So he has this debt repayment strategy because if you think about debt, guess what? You're in it. You're going to be in it. So quit it. Think about prosperity. He said, getting out of debt is the worst goal you can set for yourself. So what do you do instead, Mary? What do I do if I'm in debt? I'm in debt. So that's my reality. What do I do? This is how I paid off all my credit cards. I imagined seeing the little button when I logged into the website, pay in full. And then I imagined, ooh, statement balance, $0. It did not take long at all. It was so cool. Seriously, do it. But he says, set it and forget it. So set it up, take it, let it take care of itself, and you focus on building your prosperity. Robin and I were at a conference this past weekend, and I'm going to have Robin talk in a second, but they said something important. They said, is saving a priority for us? And if we say yes, do we act like it? So paying yourself first, saving 10%, putting that away in your freedom fund, I like that name. Is that a priority? And if it is, we should be acting on it, right? So, and then we make it real. We need to figure out what our next steps are. What do you need to research or set up, right? And you can all talk to Robin for one thing, because she has lots of education and experience in this. She said, so what do you need to research? Who do you need to call? What accounts or plans do you need to open? And what reminders or systems can you create to support this? You know, Donna, you mentioned something about you're taking a certain amount automatically out of your account, right? Every single, I don't know, week or 2 weeks or month or something, right?
Yeah, if it's set up to come out automatically from my checking account going over to the Freedom Fund.
Yeah. So it's set up. You decide once and it's set up. You don't have to go, should I do it this month? Do I have enough this month? You know, and Pat talks about this with tithing, right? She just decided this is what I'm doing. And she doesn't say, do I have enough clients? Do I not? I don't, this month? Are you sure? No, I do it. It's advanced decision making. Right, Sarah? Sarah likes decision. So, with that being said, Robin, I would love for you to take the floor and just reiterate why all of this is so important and where people can reach you and talk to you about the education that you provide, because this is important. And there are so many people in this group and in any group that want to earn more money and want to make more money. We're not mints or anything, but to accumulate more money, right? So go ahead, Robin.
Okay. You know, one of the areas that we do teach, like you say, is how to get you to financial freedom. And we help families try to build wealth. And really, these principles in this chapter will get you there, because you don't need to make a whole lot more extra money, but with what you have, you need to make it work for you versus it not working for you. And the biggest part that we have to sort of work through is, you know, you pay everybody else and you stand at the back of the line to get paid at the end of the month. And then you look up and then there's nothing left because you put yourself back at the end of the line. I've lived that way for years where I paid everybody else first, paid the mortgage, definitely paid tithes, never that I said, I got to give God something to work with. But still, after you paid everybody else and everything else, then there wasn't anything left for yourself. And but if you consistently can put away 10% of what you earn from every net paycheck, you'll see it grow over time. And what was good with Donna said she had automatically has it set up where you won't miss it because it'll automatically come out and you can't, how do you say, and you don't have room enough to try to talk yourself out of it.
Well,
You
they
know,
do that automatically to you with taxes, right?
oh, yeah, Uncle Sam, he gets his regardless, right? Oh, don't we know? He stands front and center on everything, every time. Yeah, income tax, sales tax. Yeah. When you
Unapologetically, by the way.
unapologetically. Yeah, I said that's an uncle I don't like. He always has his hand up. But anyway, I mean, I want him to get the portion he's due, but not extra. But he seems to get extra sometimes. And so one of the things, like you say, the biggest part, if you can remember, is to pay yourself first. Put some money aside. Put some money aside. Just even if you start off small, so maybe you can't do 10%. Start off with 5%. Start off with something because really we're trying to get people in the habit of just doing it. And once you start that habit, the rest will flow. And then and we have different products where you can put your money, but at least start somewhere with saving your money, even if it's in a savings. And we have where you can set up with what they call the high yield savings. You begin somewhere to put that money aside for yourself, and don't put yourself at the back of the line. As you say, have some quiet time with you and God, and realize, oh, I do deserve some. I do deserve some of my own money versus everyone else getting it first. And that's a paradigm shift, a mind shift. Yep. Say, no, I'm gonna pay myself first, and it's okay. And don't beat yourself up. It's okay. You can do it. Because I used to beat myself up about it. I really did. And so it made me not do it years ago. But once you get in the habit of, oh, then and you'll begin to see that you can do more. It opens doors for you to do more. Um, you can plan for something you want. You could plan for like house improvements. You could plan and where you can, you know, use that money in your favor. And what we do after you, as you say, as you begin to save, you put it in products where where the money compounds. And so many times we learn about the compounding interest against you, like on credit cards and debt. That compound interest is working against you, but we help you put it in a place where it works for you, and it'll multiply fast. But you just have to begin to get yourself in that habit. And so we call those like three philosophies that you learn. Put 10% aside. um, Three rules of money, like what, and we'll teach you where to put it, like the compounding effect, the tax effect, how to minimize Uncle Sam getting more than he deserves. And then three rules and three rules of money in terms of protecting your income, replacing your income, and setting it aside for generational wealth. And the products that we put together for you will help you accomplish those three things. But it's been good to learn for myself and to help families, and I've seen it work like wow. So if you'd like to make time with me, an appointment or whatever, and there's no cost to do all this, we really, so we really just believe in helping you learn how to begin this strategy for yourself. And that's what I do. And I can well,
Yeah, put your
my
phone
my
number
phone
in the
number.
chat. Put your phone number in the
Okay,
chat
I'll put it
because
in the
that
chat.
way they can reach out to you. And
Okay.
what you're saying, Robin, is actually where everybody needs to start is quite simple. It's just simply putting 10% away, right?
Just
And it
yeah.
doesn't mean a dollar amount. It means 10%. So it just,
Mhm.
you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a ton of money. It is a portion of the money.
Mhm.
And I think it's important too, when you were talking, you know, why do we feel guilty about not about reserving some of our own money for ourselves. For God's sake, come on. We did all the work. We need the money to stay here. That's so funny.
Yes.
And we're not living so everybody else can. We're living so we can, right? And our family can. So I think just start that now if you're not doing it, because I think that is huge.
And I just like to say, like you say, one more thing about, that mindset, because I think about, if being moms or single moms, certain things you would just do for everybody else, for your kids. So you're like, no, the baby needs a new pair of shoes. So I got to work so they can have, the shoes, the roof over the house, so they can come and go. But you put yourself way at the back of the line. And so because it's been a lifestyle of that, you really have to change it. I mean, you have to improve it and change it. But yeah, I would be that way. I'd be like, I'm traveling all over the world for make sure everybody's got everything, make sure they're okay. And I'm at the back of the line. But you really have to just change, work on your mindset and say, okay, God, no, I deserve some for the future. So
Yeah. Well, and even as entrepreneurs, when we had our gym, who did we pay first? Not ourselves. We paid our coaches first, right? We paid our employees first. And we paid our rent first. We paid all of that first. And we took whatever was left over. You're right. It's the way that we did it. And yeah, I tell you, it's not fun that way. You should be rewarded at least just a titch, at least 10% for
right, at
what
least
you do.
10%. Right. But it starts with that mind shift. Like, okay, I deserve some. I deserve, like you say, to put stuff aside
Yeah,
for whatever you're planning for, whatever you'd like in life. So
exactly. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate it.
thank
And give
you.
her a call. She's nice. You all know how nice she is. She's great.
Okay.
She'll just give you some pointers. Go ahead, Pat.
I was going to say what I do too is I have it in a separate bank account that is not in my town, so it's not as easy to access.
Mm-hmm. Good
Pretty
idea.
good, Pat. Not in your town. I love
Yeah,
it.
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. And you just forget that it's there.
Yep.
Smart.
If something comes up, you figure out how to work with what you already have. You try not your best, just leave it alone. And then if it's an emergency, then it's there.
Mm-hmm. Your freedom fund. You're free to pay for whatever you need.
Mm.
That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This week we're doing chapter 3 next week, the image maker. Ooh, this is a good one. So, while this week we figure out how much is enough, we have to upgrade the image of who earns the amount that's needed to live the life that you want to live, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So thank you all for being here, and we'll see you later.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.